Rest, O exalted one. Horde Prime will make you whole again. And when you have healed, we shall return to Eternia together to destroy Skeletor. And this He-Man.
Man, I love this Masters of the Universe Revolutions. I gotta say, Kevin Smith and crew, this is a hit. I was sitting up here having pure geekgasm, geek juice skeeting all over the place. And this scene that I just showed you guys is the ending of the first couple of 5 episodes. And basically, if you didn't know, that is Despera, aka Adora, aka She-Ra. And it looks like we're probably going to get a little bit of her origin story based on this when they come back with the next couple of episodes. But this right here should have all us fans in a tizzy, because not only are we going to get to see what happened with her, but we are also going to get to see Horde Prime. She mentioned Horde Prime resurrecting Hordaik. For those that don't know, Horde Prime is Hordaik's big brother and is really the leader of the Legion of the Horde. He's really the leader. But for whatever the reason, he's kind of like the Galactus of the Masters of the Universe lore. He's super huge. You never get to see his face, and he is bad as hell. That's all we know. So I'm thinking they've given us enough Easter eggs that we might get to see him in the next couple of episodes, if not in a future season. I would love to see that, and I can appreciate the Easter eggs they gave us with this thing. And this is an Easter egg right here already with Hordaik, with Horde Prime and Adora, because in the comics she was Despera. But I'm wondering what else we're going to see from her. In this same series, we also got a chance to see this right here, where you got Cringer shaking over here and a crib knocked over. Well, that's just referencing when Hordaik came and stole Adora way back in the day. And remember, Hordaik is as old as time itself. And another Easter egg they gave us for Hordaik in this show was they mentioned this tapestry of towers. And you see 3 people down there. You see somebody that's got the Havoc staff. You see somebody with Ka. You see somebody with Grayskull. But you see 4 towers and only 3 people. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is simply because Hordaik created the central tower. That's how powerful this cat is. And we're going to discuss that and so much more in this video. Normally, this is when I give you guys my 15 seconds of my intro music and ask you to subscribe and share, like my videos and all that. But because we don't get to do too many videos as fans of these lures, especially He-Man, I decided instead of doing that to say, please like my video, share it, subscribe, but show you guys my toys from He-Man. First and foremost, I got this Skeletor that I keep near and dear and close. This is not old school. This is pretty new, but it's still part of the lure. Us fans of the lure, we love when we get a chance to show off our stuff. And this is my He-Man Funko Pop. But the new stuff is not what anyone cares about. The lure of He-Man goes back to when I was a kid. Now, I was born in 1980. I started watching the show in 85. So I am a 43-year-old male who still has his He-Man collectible glass. Look at that shit right there. Got to be more careful. I had the Skeletor set, but check this out. Chick I had dated for like 8 years broke that shit, and that's why she's my ex. So ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy as I give you the Easter eggs, give you my review of this thing. Please subscribe. And if you are a fan of the lure and you got some old school gear, please show it to me. Post your comments down below. Let's link up and talk He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So let me go through how I felt about everything, ladies and gentlemen, and just how good this thing was. Careful for spoilers because it was really, really good. They opened up the show with the Masters down in Subternia taking on Scareglow to fight and get back the souls of Fisto and Clam Champ. Loved every minute of it. This was as exciting as it gets. You've got Randor down there helping his son take on Scareglow. You got Scareglow turning into some damn spider-looking figure, He-Man kicking that ass, which is what we expect. And them still not truly and really being able to get those souls. And they represented the souls with the Fisto hand and the clamp. And I loved how they let Teela pop on down there in her new sorceress outfit and shed some light on the situation to get rid of them damn shadow beasts. So it was an epic opening, and they set the stage for what Teela was going to have to do throughout the whole series. Instead of people going to a void, because Randor got sick and died, instead of him being in a void, she wanted to resurrect Preternia. It's like the heaven or the Valhalla for the Masters of the Universe. And throughout this whole thing, her journey arc takes her trying to get all these ancient powers to be able to do that. She needed to get the Havoc Staff. She needed to get Kosh. She already has the Grayskull Hawk wings. And in order to get this great power, she had to go to Grandemir the Dragon. So for my Game of Thrones folks, just know that they had some vicious ass dragons in Eternia and in this lure Eternos. And so she winds up getting that, and we'll pick back up on what happens when she gets those powers in the end. But throughout the story, we've seen Skeletor, aka Keldor, the brother of Randor, infiltrate the kingdom, pose as the original Blue Keldor, and get the crown because Adam/He-Man didn't really want it. He didn't really want it. He wanted to still be out there swashbuckling, doing his thing. But what he didn't know that this was a Skeletor being controlled by Mother Box and the Horde. Speaking of which, why has Hordaik and the Horde never taken over Eternos? Because this iteration of Hordaik is not all that fond of magic. In the comics, ladies and gentlemen, he was fond of magic. I mean, his ass was more powerful than Hordaik with more powerful than Skeletor with magic, but he also incorporated tech. So picture Iron Man with, I guess, Odin Daddy's magic. That was fucking Hordaik, okay? So if Hordaik was doing that, can you imagine the power of Horde Prime? And throughout the series, Mother Box continues to infiltrate Skeletor, prove to him how powerful she is, because she's basically controlling his mind. And after they get this thing going, Skeletor, posing as Keldor, sends He-Man away from the kingdom, which was just a ploy to get him away. Now, they've taken He-Man's sword, Man of War, and Orko to a big Easter egg, Wildor, to help the sword not only be able to do magic, but also have some technological advances. And so Keldor sends He-Man away to Skeletor, who he thinks is Skeletor at Snake Mountain, to fight. And while he's away, Keldor begins the onslaught on Eternos. And while that's going on, Motherboard is all up over there at Grayskull, destroying the place, getting all the secrets, turning the thing into a Hordaik skull. And this is where the battle got really interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this shit got epic quick. Keldor, who's in Skeletor's head, keeps reminding him that, dude, you nothing but a pawn, a piece of work. You're being used by the Horde. You can destroy the Horde and take over and have all this power yourself. But what's stopping him is that Hordaik basically took Keldor under his wing and kind of raised him. Do y'all see a theme with this? Hordaik loves to take young people that could possibly be a threat, which is what he did with Adora, who had great power, and what he did with Skeletor, and forced Skeletor to accept the magic of Havoc. Because Hordaik didn't believe in magic. He's a science guy. And so now they're having a face-off because the voices talking to Skeletor in his head say, go kill Motherboard. That's what he did. And now the only thing left to stop him is Hordaik. And they have an epic battle. and Skeletor, what we thought at the time, killed Hordaik, because Skeletor decided to take technology and merge it with magic, and that was enough to overthrow Hordaik. In my mind, I'm saying to myself, y'all know good and damn well Hordaik is not that easily defeated. But by the end of this, you figured out why they played it like that, because Hordaik is not dead. And so now He-Man has got his new sword that is going to help turn all the people that was infected by nanites and technology back into normal people. And so he goes to Castle Grayskull. He has to take on Skeletor. And of course, He-Man does what he do. They have a great battle. But in the end, He-Man stabs that new sword right on through Skeletor, soaks up all that evil nanite technology and magic, and turns his ass back to Keldor, and throw him in jail. Now, while all that's happening, Teela is up in the sky trying to use and merge those powers to bring Subternia. And she winds up being able to do it with the help of He-Man and his sword. And now I love the budding relationship that they kept sprinkling in between He-Man and Teela, and how Evil Lyn poked at that relationship early on to really, really get Teela to hone in some of that magic. And you really didn't know if Evil Lyn was going to betray anybody. But in the end, she had a mentor in Grandemir, and she stayed true to that. And she wound up going all the way up in the end to the cosmic area to see Zodak, and she has been ordained as a cosmic enforcer. Now, you know she is not going to stay that way, ladies and gentlemen. She is going to come back evil. Now, mind you, Zordak is a cosmic enforcer who is just as powerful as He-Man, and he's probably going to have to be the one to come down and help take on Horde Prime if they have it in this iteration. I can't wait to see it. And in the end, ladies and gentlemen, when all things are settled, all the dust is settled, He-Man decides that he doesn't want this thing to be a monarchy anymore. He wants a democracy, and he wants to use his sword to protect Eternos. And I like the way that ended. And then that took us into the basically kind of like the ending of it, where we saw Despera Adora. Now let me give you guys the Easter eggs I found. Number one, the giant dark door of smoke that you see Teela go to when she's trying to get to Grandemir. That, ladies and gentlemen, comes directly from the original series in 1986, ladies and gentlemen. That comes from the original series. And that's one big Easter egg they threw in here. Another Easter egg they threw in here, which is more recent day, was from the comics, was Siren. And Siren, the big thing about her was she was the hand to King Grayskull. And they put that on the mural on the wall. And this is what she looked like in the comics, helping King Grayskull. The problem with this was another ancient, powerful being that I hope they bring into this thing, King Hiss, that we seen in the 2002 series. He got all up in Siren's ear. And what did she do? She wound up killing King Grayskull. Just damn, man. You can't even have a handmaiden without getting killed. So then we get on to all the Easter eggs from Scareglow. And shout out to all the fans of the lure, because I got big help from fans in the lure, especially from my man Dad at Arms, who's on Twitter. Go check him out. And also check out my man on YouTube, Gotham's Epic Stuff. And a couple of my homeboys hit me up about what they thought was Easter eggs, and I did some homework to try to seek them out. And this is what we found. So in Scareglow's Subternia, you've seen all these relics, right? And one of these relics, ladies and gentlemen, that look like a horde type figure is really a cauldron. And that cauldron was in season 1 of the original He-Man in the 1980s, episode 10. So that's where you get that from. Then, same piece on the wall, we got Shakoti's death mask. And the reason why that's significant is because that was one that the people who had the toys, me being a collector of the toys, we really, really wanted that thing. And this comes from the cartoon of the 80s, season 1, episode 41. And this is what that looked like. Then we also had the Diamond Ray of Disappearance that Skeletor used Right there in episode 1 from the original cartoon, episode 1 of season 1. And that's another collector's item, and that's actually out there right now, and you can buy it, ladies and gentlemen. And then you had Motherboard when she transformed Castle Grayskull into what kind of looked like a Horde Grayskull. That was kind of a nod to the 1987 movie. Looked just like it. And I mean, when I'm talking about scary as hell looking Grayskull, that shit looks scary. And it's supposed to look scary, ladies and gentlemen. Then getting back to my main man, Wildor, who he had some great lines. One of his lines he talked about was fighting across the universe. Because remember, he came up with that key on Earth to get them back to Eternia on the movie. Well, you see that Cadillac from the movie? It was also in this version of the show, Masters of the Universe, right there on his door behind him. Loved it, man. Loved it. You can tell everybody involved with this thing is big into the lure, not just from the original show, but from the comics and to the toys and the things that people love to collect. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Teela, where she's all dressed up with the power of Ka, and this is a direct throwback to one of the depicted mini comics and also the 2002 Snake Man's Teela. This lore is so rich, ladies and gentlemen, you can easily see why this needs to be a movie fast as fuck. Because you can create so many stories. This could be like its own little MCU, if not bigger and better, because there's so many fans of this. If you're a fan of the MCU, please tell me you're going to turn out for this too, because you would. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in Subternia, we've got a picture of Sunman. And the reason why this is in here is because Sunman is one of the toys everybody wanted to get their damn hands on, and I couldn't get it. Then last but definitely not least, my people, that I found in here, He-Man and the changing chest plate. Andrea gave him the chest plate as a way to help protect him when he goes over there to Snake Mountain, right? And you remember he left out with the axe. Well, that is a direct nod and Easter egg to the toy. This same He-Man chest plate from 1987, I think. And it is very rare. I think they only made maybe 200 of these, and all of us in this lure are trying to get our hands on it. But there you have He-Man with the chest plate and also that battle axe. So, ladies and gentlemen, leave me all your comments on what you think about this series. So far, it has been great. It's super exceeded what we expected from the original. I mean, what we got from the first one that they did, Revelations. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did too, but please leave me your comments on what you think. That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, go get yourself that life game, and until that next sexy as hell geekgasm video, I'm out.